Donald Trump may not be completely out of hot water in his Georgia election interference case in this breaking story, which I'm going to show you in just a few seconds. And it harkens us back to the old mob line from the movie, "Just when I thought I was out, they keep pulling me back in." If in Georgia has anything to do with it, she's going to keep pulling Donald Trump back in. And it is going to be a fight to find a way in this breaking story I'm about to show you. Remember what he did in trying to get the results to go to Georgia the way he wanted?
Donald Trump's latest effort to stay in power.
You should want to have an accurate election, and you're a Republican.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
This is part of an hour-long call between Trump and Brad Raffensperger, the Georgia state official in charge of election results, obtained by the Washington Post.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
It's a stunning ask, the president calling for an official to change election results.
DemocracyNow.org. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez as we look specifically more at Georgia. We're joined by Ari Berman, the voting rights correspondent for Mother Jones. He's the author of Minority Rule, the right-wing attack on the will of the people and the fight to resist it. His latest piece is headlined, How Election Deniers Took Over Georgia's Election System. Ari, welcome back to Democracy Now! Talk about its significance and how it fits into your bigger look.
Georgia was really the epicenter of where the Trump campaign tried to overturn the 2020 election. He pressured the state's Republican Secretary of State. He pressured the state's Republican legislature. He pressured the state's Republican governor. And when that failed, Trump and his allies really systematically tried to take over Georgia's election system. They have placed top officials, such as Lieutenant Governor in Georgia, who was a fake elector for Trump. What the Trump movement has done is they've put all of these election deniers in positions of power in Georgia so that they can spread disinformation, they can undermine trust in fair elections, and they ultimately can try to refuse to certify election results. And that is really what I'm concerned about here, is that this disinformation leads election officials not to certify fair election outcomes. This disinformation could lead to very scary outcomes, like potentially another January 6th.
Yes, that's what we face now. The constant fear of another January 6th. So, let Trump do whatever he wants. Well, in this breaking story, nope, is having none of it. Take a listen. Breaking news, massive twist complicates Trump's bid to kill Georgia election interference case, report. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis's office dealt a major blow to Donald Trump's effort to have his Georgia election interference charges dropped with a new round of objections. The Georgia Prosecutors Office in a court documents filed Wednesday pushed back against the president-elect demand that this case be thrown out in the light of the Supreme Court's presidential immunity ruling, according to the New Republic, which called the development a massive twist. Trump returning to the White House might not be enough to hold back his state court proceedings surrounding his attempts to overturn the 2020 presidential election, an attorney for Willis argued. Appellant does not specify or articulate how the appeal, or indeed any other aspect of this case, will constitutionally impede or interfere with his duties once he assumes office. F. McDonald Wakeford, Fulton County's chief senior assistant district attorney, told the court, according to the New Republic. The filing added that Trump's attorneys did not demonstrate, in quotes, why state prosecution should be a subject to a Justice Department mandate preventing the prosecution of sitting presidents, ABC News reported. In quotes, the notice makes mention of these concepts without actually examining them or applying them to the present circumstances, Wakeford wrote in the document. In other words, appellant has not done the work, but would very much like for this court to do so. The legal filing from Willis's office argued that the incoming president could still face consequences in his Georgia case. The lack of legal precedent related to court proceedings against sitting presidents might offer room for the prosecution to move forward, the New Republic said. In quotes, given these vague statements, to simply invoke the phrase federalism and committee concerns without more offers nothing of substance, the filing said. Now, of course, based on that, you'll have legal scholars who will tell you that nothing's going to happen. We've already seen a bit of that, right? this.
ABC News has also learned tonight that the Justice Department is already now winding down those 2 criminal cases they were prosecuting against Trump, including the January 6th election interference case. Let's get right to our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. Pierre, what have you learned?
David, just days ago, then candidate Donald Trump threatened to fire special counsel Jack Smith within 2 seconds if he was reelected. But he won't need to. DOJ guidelines are clear. You cannot prosecute a sitting president. And sources tell me Smith has been in discussions about how he will wind down the 2 federal cases. The January 6th criminal case and the classified documents case are effectively over.
And yet, the only way to handle somebody who uses money or power to just be a bully is, just like Jim Valvano said, coach of NC State, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Stay frosty.